Hello, welcome to
Hello.
Reading Sprints. Did you hear the pause where I tried to work out what day it was? It is Thursday. It was easy when I used to do sprints just on a Thursday. I knew that I was getting it right.
It's always Thursday.
And I do it all over the place. I really don't know what day it is. But it's nice to see both of you. I don't think you've been on screen together before, have you?
I don't think so, no. Or have we? I don't know.
Maybe. Or maybe we've seen each other on sprints.
That's the thing, that's the difficulty.
Yeah.
It's like, have we just watched each other, or have we been on together? Oh, and we nearly lost Amy.
Oh dear, this happens to me all the time when I go to book events as well. I look at people, I'm like, have we met or have I just watched you on YouTube? It's really weird. But anyway, thank you both for joining me. If anybody wants to look up Beth and Kirsty, you can find them in the usual places like Instagram and Beth on YouTube. And are you on TikTok as well? I feel like maybe
I'm bad at TikTok, but I'm on TikTok.
I was going to say, Kirsty, you're on TikTok, aren't you?
I'm on TikTok, yeah. I do have a YouTube, but I never use it. It's not, it's there, but
it's like me with TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I really like TikTok when I do it, and I find that the engagement's really good. Like, I have good conversations with people on there about books, but I just find that, like, the setup quite time-consuming, actually recording it and not messing it up, doing all the comments and the hashtags. So I find that I like it, but at the moment I'm not really fitting it in. Like, I have to try and batch record, so I manage for a few days and then I run out of content. But yeah, I do like it, and it seems to be good. Like, for creators, it's a really good way of finding, like, for me, readers and like artists and stuff. It seems to help people find their audience. But yeah, time consuming. I'll get that. I do want to do more with it.
Me too. I'm just bad at all social media and keeping on top of anything other than YouTube.
It's really difficult. Like, I think YouTube, if you've got, do you do weekly videos on yours?
I try and do twice weekly, but it depends on the week.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a habit thing, isn't it? Like, I do one a week generally, so I've got an extra interview or something, and it seems a little easier to maintain. I think that constant everyday posting is really hard, or is for me anyway, like on the other social media. So I'm excited about these sprints because I'm really, really close to finishing this big outline editing I've been doing on Mina and the Cult. And I've got 30 odd pages left to go through the manuscript, and it's so funny reading my editor's comments at this point, because like a lot of them aren't even feedback. They're just things like, no, Amy, yes, Amy, why are you doing this to me? I can't cope. Which is just really funny to me, and I'm enjoying myself. I always think it must be decent by this point if there's like not editorial comments and there's just, the editor enjoying the book. But I'm just working on an outline and trying to like write what actually happens, and then right next to it what I know needs to happen. So that's what I'm working on, and then hopefully the next couple of days I can actually start properly editing. I've done some editing on it, but I need to properly edit it. So how about you, Kirsty? Are you having a reading night or writing night? Why was that so difficult? Too many ends.
So up until like a couple of minutes before I joined, I was having a panic. There's still some work to do tonight, so I'm probably going to do a little bit of that, and then hopefully switch to do some writing as well. And I have got Grady Hendrix, The Final Girl Club. If I get bored, I'm going to put my little vampire gonk down.
Oh, look at it!
Where is he?
It's so.
I mean, he's got fangs coming from above his nose, which is a bit strange. But
I was wondering that when you showed it earlier. I suppose there's not really with the beard. Like, where do the fangs go?
Final Girls Support Group is the book.
I like that one. It's very, very slashery. I'm sure that's not a word, but that's how I feel about it. How about you, Beth? I assume you're reading, unless you're going to write a little bit of writing.
No, I'm not going to start writing randomly tonight, but you never know. Maybe I will at some
point. Live on a stream, you just decide to change your whole...
Why not? No, I'm reading. I'm going to try and finish both of these because I'm near the end. I have about 70-ish pages of this left, and I don't know how many of this, but I was reading this before me and Mark went to America, and then I left it in his car and went to America. And then didn't see him for a week. So I haven't actually been reading this for a couple of weeks, so I'll have to try and remember what is happening. But I have about 100 pages. The Extraordinaries, TJ Klute.
TJ Klute.
That sounds cool.
I haven't read that, but I have it on audio, I think.
Yeah, it's okay.
I've read the other one.
I am enjoying it, but it's very, very different to his other books that I have read.
Is it superhero-y type, is it?
Yes, yeah. It's like superhero fan fiction. Kind of crossover. Yeah, like in a world where superheroes are real, it's following a main character who writes fan fiction about them, but they're real. So
I think my favourite superhero book is, I really love the V. Schwab Vicious and Vengeful ones, but I really like The Rest of Us Just Live Here, the Patrick Ness one. Have either of you read that?
Yeah, years ago, yeah.
I really liked that. I was thinking that I need to reread it. I love the fact that at the start of each chapter is like a little paragraph of what all the super people, like the Buffy-esque characters, are doing, and then the rest of the chapter in the book is like, this is what the normal people are doing during the apocalypse, and during like while the super people are running around saving the world, they're just trying to survive the bad things that are happening. And yeah, I thought that was cool. I have a weird relationship with superhero books. I find them a bit difficult for some reason. I don't know whether it's because superpowers are so visual often, aren't they? Like it's a little bit hard to like engage with it in the same way. I don't know. I don't hear superhero book generally and go, oh, I'm desperate to read that, unless it's the V. Schwab ones.
Yeah, I do. I don't struggle with them. I just don't engage with them as much, I guess.
I don't think you get loads of them, but the ones that I have picked up, I've tended to just kind of be okay about, apart from the ones we've mentioned. A few comments are popping up, so I'm just going to jump to the comments, and then we can probably go to first sprint. Oh, my mouse is jumping all over the place. Behave, mouse. Hi, Stephen. Thank you. I am having a good week. I hope you are. I'd love to know what you're reading tonight. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hello. Hello.
Evening.
It's so difficult, isn't it? Social media, like, and it's difficult as well that I want to talk about my books a lot because I'm excited. And I never know like what is the etiquette on how much talking about yourself and your own stuff is too much. So yeah, it just makes me anxious generally. Ooh, I haven't read either of them. Any opinions, people on screen?
I've read Ninth House, but obviously there is 2 books of that. So if you're going to read Ninth House, you might as well read Hellbent straight after. So if you don't want to do that, read the other one first, because it's a standalone, isn't it? But I haven't read it yet. I've got 2 copies of Study and Drowning, but I've not read it yet.
I've got one, and I do want to read it soon, but I don't know if I'll get around to it soon. Probably
it's one of those I've seen all over the place. I don't really know what it is. For some reason, I haven't ended up with it, but I'm feeling left out now. Like I should. Like I've let the TikTok down of not buying whatever new viral book.
It was in the Gold and Illuma crate. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've kind of unsubscribed from. I get Charlie's Paper Orange one from time to time, but I think Fairy Lou and Illuma crate tend to lean so far into fantasy. I've kind of given up on them because I'm not a big fantasy reader. I love
not your bag.
No, I think that's my favorite. I've only read 2 or 3 Darcy Coates books, and that was my favorite one so far. So I hope you're enjoying that. I thought you might have read that Han votes for Study and Drowning as well.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I mean, you seem to be getting votes for Study and Drowning, so
yeah, and it's well, I mean, they're both seasonal appropriate, I think. So. That makes it a bit more difficult. I picked that up yesterday in my local indie bookshop.
Which one? The Terry Pratchett one?
Stroke of a not the Leech Gothic horror.
I was going to say it didn't sound very in keeping with the usual things you read, but you never know. Oh, The Willows. I don't know what that is. How about you two? It sounds wholesome, but I'm not sure. Knowing what Alora normally reads, Alora seems to read similar things to me, so I'm assuming it's not.
I'm guessing it's not Wind in the Willows.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking of like cute, wholesome animals or characters. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I've only just really discovered Dark Academia like way years after everybody else. So maybe I'll try some more in November. Ooh,
indie.
I haven't heard of that. That sounds really interesting. Multitasking sounds like an excellent use of sprints. I think you
benefits of audiobooks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we're in a different time zone, so I'm in like winding down for the day mode. Sorry, Kev's just talking to us. Oh, is that your
Yeah, it's my mark.
your mark? Oh, so we're not on a different continent. He's just being extra efficient and doing stuff in the evening.
Yeah.
Doing it when the shops are quieter, less people.
Very sensible.
That is his plan most of the time, yeah.
Clever. I always seem to be battling traffic in the supermarket, so you have the right idea. I don't know why. Like, I've seen you on before, Mark, and I was just like, I suppose he's just been to America. My memory is terrible. Please apologise.
No, it's fine. My memory is also terrible, as Mark knows.
Too many little icons passing in front of me. I can't put them, especially if the names are match. I can't ever remember to put them together. Kev's just nudging a cup of tea towards me, and I'm thinking the sprints are calling for me now. I'm just gonna do the last couple of comments, then we'll go to the first sprint. I mean, I thought it might be. I didn't think it was going to be cute and wholesome. That's cool. I haven't actually heard of it, so I need to check it out. And I like the fact that it is a classic short horror novel. Because sometimes some of the classic ones, like I read Carmilla last spooky season and really enjoyed it. And I love the fact that it was short because it kind of makes it feel a bit more accessible. Okay, so I think we all have a plan. Kirsty, I think you need to rattle through that work so that you can get writing with me.
Yeah, I just need to make some YouTube thumbnails.
Okay.
So hopefully that won't take too long.
I was going to say, not like something you can necessarily rattle through, but and Beth, I hope after a busy week,
try.
Yeah, you can kind of chill a little bit and do some reading. Beth's earned it this week from the sound of it.
I will try.
Okay, so I'm going to pop us on a 40-minute sprint for anyone who's not been here before. We tend to do 40, have a chat, 40, have a chat, 30, because usually our brains are melting. My brain is melting by the last one and I'm incoherent, so we don't want to hear that. Kirsty's already yawning, you see, it started. I mentioned it sprints and we're all like,
that was your fault. Yeah, that was entire. I'm blaming you for that yawn.
I do it to Alex as well. I start talking about bed and Alex is like, oh, bedtime. Okay, right. I'm going to pop us on sprint. So we will see you on the other side in 40 minutes.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Although the last 3 minutes raced by, I looked and I was like, oh, got 3 minutes left. And the next thing I knew, there's a little cat meowing at me. How did it go for you two? How about you, Kirsty? Did you get the thumbnails?
Yes, it always takes longer than you think it's going to take, doesn't it? So, but it's all done. So the next sprint I can write, which is good.
Nice.
Woohoo.
Are you working on the project that we've talked about before?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes,
How's
I
it
am.
going
Slowly. It needs to come along quicker this month because I've got to submit some bits to my editor. I've got a new date for early next month, so yeah, I need to do lots more writing. So I think I might head off to a coffee shop at the weekend and away from the dogs, so I can concentrate for a bit.
Deadlines tend to make it magical. I think deadlines plus sprints is how I manage to, like, I'm really meant to be getting my fully beautiful edited manuscript in a month, and I feel okay because I just think it's a deadline, so I'm going to stick to it because I have to. Yeah, solidarity. We can do this together. We're both on a tight deadline. We can. Early November, we'll have beautiful polished manuscripts to hand in.
No, I'm just happy with like a finished draft. It doesn't have to be beautifully polished yet, but yeah.
I mean, it might be better than you think. I am now reading through my ending parts of it for the first time. My poor editor, I literally just some bits I wrote them because it needed to go, and actually they're not too bad. So it'll take a bit of tidying up, but it's not the mess it could have been. That all sounds good. How about you, Beth? Did you have a good read?
I did. Yeah, I didn't read quite as much as I wanted, but I'm so close to finishing.
Which one did you go for?
25 pages left. Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, which one? Yeah.
Emily Wilde. I am very close. This is the one I've been reading recently, so I thought I'd finish this before I try and refresh my memory and go back into that one, but it's a little slower than I expected it to be. But
I've not really heard anything about it. What kind of book is it?
It's a fantasy, so probably not for you.
Yeah, I was going to say already not going to read it, but yeah, tell me what's it about.
It's very like magical, and it's about a scholar who's from Cambridge but goes to this like Norwegian. I don't know if it actually clarifies where it's set, but I think it's
Norwegian-esque.
Yeah. Yes, Norwegian-esque. And she goes basically to write this encyclopedia, like diary. It's like academic research about fairies. Have you read it, Kirsty, or just heard about it?
I have, yeah. No, I've read it.
Did you enjoy it?
I think I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it, but like you said, it was a little bit slower paced, and there was a couple of bits in there. So I think the main character is kind of maybe autistic coded, but it isn't always done in the 100% best way. But I will read the second one when it comes out. So
I had not thought about that, but now you said it does make sense. So that's interesting. I don't know if I will read the second one, actually. I don't know. Maybe.
Interesting. I'm just nodding sagely. I'm thinking, like, I don't know, the occasional fantasy book I will try, but if it sounds like it's just hitting the usual fantasy notes, it kind of, I've just discovered recently it isn't my thing. I've tried, but for now, I read a lot in my 20s, like maybe my mid-20s, so maybe I'll go back to it. It'll be a 40s thing. I missed them in my 30s, and then maybe I'll return eventually.
I prefer Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, which is similar. It's kind of Regency Victorian fairy tales, and there's 3 of them, and I think I preferred those over Emily Wilde.
I've heard really good things about that series. I would like to read it. It sounds more like my kind of thing, so I will get them.
Have you
more
two
romance
read
as well?
Yeah, have you two read Mia Kushner's books? Because they are fantasies that
read.
I think they're more romantic-y, so like the romance kind of sorts it out for me, the fantasy side of it.
I loved
the Pretty Waterstones covers.
Sorry.
So I was just going to say that I own the Pretty Waterstones copies, but I haven't read them yet.
They are so pretty. I have a proof of Upon a Frosted Star, but I have not read it yet. I need to.
You do. I think you'd like them. They're really good. And objectively, I say that because she's my friend as well. I wouldn't read the second one if I didn't like it. They're just, I don't know. I think certain fantasies, when they're grounded in a reality that I can recognise and don't feel bogged down by fancy details, I can totally do it. And hers get that good balance of fantasy elements, but in a world that doesn't just really confuse me.
Yeah.
It isn't full of like fancy jargon and stuff, because that's I think what I struggle with. Lots of details and lots of jargon. I'm just like lost. Let's see how the commenters are doing. That sounds really lovely. People keep telling me about good stuff to watch at the minute. Interview the Vampires finally coming to the UK tonight, apparently, the new series, and I just know I haven't got time to watch it right now. And the Buffy Audible, is that soon?
Yes, that came out today. Yes.
I really want to listen.
It got delivered. Got delivered to my Audible today.
Because I don't think I've done anything. Do I? If I have Audible, do I automatically have it, or do I have to pay for it?
You have to. Do you have like you have a monthly credit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just apply your credit to it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll use my October credit then. I know I don't have time, so I'm just going to wait a little bit. I think until, in fact, to be fair, I am listening to an audiobook right now, so I think when I finish that one, I'll hopefully have my credit. Yeah, let us know what you're watching on Netflix if there's anything I need to add to my list when I have time. Oh, I love that one. I need to pick up the others in the series. I love the photographs in there, like the real kind of historical imagery. It's really cool. I love a book with mixed media in it. Hi, Vix. No worries. I feel like this has come up to me before. It sounds familiar. Have either of you heard of it?
No.
What is it, Vix? For some reason, my brain is going Wicked, but that's Glinda. I don't know. I'm
Glinda.
sure it's not.
Galinda.
Yeah, I know. Glinda with the G. Oh,
have you read the Wicked books?
I tried. I watched it in New York, and I went to I think it was a Barnes & Noble, and bought a copy of the book. And I was like, this is totally a different, like, it has the same characters, but it's
different. Yeah.
It's just a different thing entirely. So I think I decided that I needed to keep hold of it, but leave a little bit, like not watch it immediately after watching the musical. And of course, I haven't picked it up.
Yeah, it's a lot darker, a lot more political than the musical. The musical's wonderful,
yeah, and that's the thing. I like the like whimsical side of it. It does have that undercurrent of darkness, which like, sorry, this is the nerdy side of it. It's going to come out now. Like when he sings "Dancing Through Life," and there is stuff that kind of makes you go, "Oh, like his life's really sad," and he doesn't even realize it. I think it's really clever, but yeah, maybe the book might be too dark for me. That is so sad, Sharon. I feel like that. There's a Jane Austen book I still haven't read, and I've heard it's an amazing one. Northanger Abbey. It's her like gothic satirical one. But I just know that it's the last one. So I feel like I don't want to read it because then there's no more Jane Austen books. So yeah, I get that.
I think there's a book of her letters.
Oh,
I think that I own that I haven't read yet. Yeah,
and I also haven't read. Is it Sandhurst, her unfinished one? Is it Sandhurst?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is
Sandhurst or Pemberley.
Yeah, maybe. I might be just spouting words that sound like this. I'm very tired, and like I said, my consumption of popular culture is zero at the moment, apart from things I've written myself. So yeah, I feel like I've gotten
Anderton.
That
I knew it started the same way and couldn't finish off the.
Yeah, I knew I'd get it wrong. I was stabbing for the right one.
I was going to say Sandhurst isn't that the army training?
Possibly, yeah. I was close.
It is.
That sounds exciting. Yeah, that's exactly how I start. My brain dump sheets are always a big. I think it was Laurie House Anderson I copied the idea from. She said she does all her plotting on big pieces of paper, and I love that. I do a mind map with a really rubbish title in the middle, and it just spirals out with all the stuff I want to get in there. And as soon as it starts clumping together, that's when I kind of start plotting properly, and then get excited and ignore the plotting. Yeah, see, that's where I am. Fantasy, where the words are hard to pronounce, that is like the sort of thing that's a real deal breaker for me, because it just pulls me out of the story as I sit there trying to figure out, is this a person? Is this a place? Is it a magical object? Like that's the fantasy thing that I struggle to vibe with. Amazing. That's a good start. Interesting. People reading similar books. I think Vix and Sharon are very much in tune with their extreme horror interest. Yeah, that's me in fantasy. I read fantasy books super slowly for that exact same reason. I hope you're enjoying it. It sounds like a little bit like you might be a bit of a slog at the moment. Oh, no, that's so sad. I haven't watched any of that yet, so I can't comment as to whether it picks up. Do it.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
It's nearly NaNoWriMo if you're thinking about really plowing into something as well. It's cursed for me. I've never written a book in NaNoWriMo. I'm always editing in November. I just must put the way my writing cycles. It's never a writing month for me. That's good to know. Sharon's talking about the stroke of the pen. Oh, so this is the book that
Gilda.
Yes, all I can think of is Glinda now. A black lesbian vampire book.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, lots of things there.
Forrest Gump, but gay vampire and black history. Okay. Yeah, that is a description.
Yeah, it is. Is that a good thing, Vix? Like, I feel like it might be, but Forrest Gump makes me sob my guts out, so I don't know whether I can cope if it's the sad side. Oh yeah, I totally I understand that sentiment. Ooh. Excellent.
And a new edition of that.
Yeah, I know. This is the problem when people say things to me like new and gorgeous edition. I'm like, I want it even though I've never heard of the book before.
What, new and gorgeous and vampire all in one?
Yeah, I know. It's really bad. Literally, that's all I need to hear. I've bought so many Fairy Loots on eBay because obviously I don't subscribe to it. If I hear it was a vampire month, I just go and buy them. Lily, you've got a few weeks to do some plotting. Excited for you. If you want to chat to us about it, let us know. And if you want to come on, in fact, do some writing with me and Kirsten, motivate ourselves in a future week. We could get that sorted out. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Sometimes I do read a book really meticulously, like say Laini Taylor, one of the few fantasy authors that I insta order. Ooh. Yeah, that is pretty. That's very vibrant, isn't it? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there is that, Sharon. When you finish something, maybe I do need to. Shall I just bite the bullet and read Northanger Abbey and then go back and read all the others? Yeah, I do use Google Doc for some things like that. Like my agent quite often recently has started opening stuff up in Google Docs and using that to track change. And then it's really handy because she can, if she wants to see what I'm doing to stuff, she can. I tend to pull it off and work on normal Word. I have tried Scrivener, but I found it too complicated. So all the amazing stuff people said it does, I didn't use. So I've just gone back to Word because it didn't import.
I use the basic features of Scrivener.
Oh, right. Do you find that
otherwise it gets too complicated?
Yeah, I just found that it didn't import nicely. It looked weird every time, and I was like, I must have done something wrong, but I can't fix this. So I just got back to Word.
I think it's okay. I had a trauma with Google Docs the other week where I was going through and putting comments in, and it wiped all my comments. I couldn't get them back.
No,
I was very, very stressed.
Yeah, mine does occasionally say, don't close or you will lose what you've been working on. And I find that terrifying because often then you're like, I need to close it. I need to go to bed. I'm just going to have to hope that it's done that. So yeah, maybe back it up as you go along as well, just to make sure.
Yeah, keep downloading.
Yeah, panic. Okay, so Kirsty, you are writing in this sprint. I am going to, I managed to get quite a chunk. I'll show you. I've got this much of Mina to summarise. And I've done that much, so I think not tonight. No, I didn't do that in 40 minutes. Yeah, very close. And yeah, my editor's comments continue to amuse me. Put her through her paces a little bit, I think.
That sounds amazing.
That is absolutely fine because you put the word cozy in front of it. If you said high fantasy, I would have still encouraged you, but I would not have been able to read it. Legends of Lattes is one of my favourite things that I've read, surprisingly, in the past year, because it was just the exact accessible level of fantasy that I wanted, and I love the characters and everything.
I want to read that, Lily.
That sounds really cool, Lily. do it. We have all voted, and we've got an eclectic range of taste between the three of us. If we all like the sound of it, and Vix does as well, who is also like the more extreme end of things, like with horror and stuff. So it sounds like you're on to a winner there, Lily. Definitely exciting. Look at it. We can see like this book in the making.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, follow along during Nano.
I think we might have tempted her. Fingers crossed. I think it's one of those things, isn't it? Writing that there's no harm if, like, I feel like there is harm if I don't get this done. Like, I'm in breach of contract. But the nice thing is, like, early on, just do it for yourself and enjoy it, and don't feel the pressure. And if you do want to try and get it published, then great. But if not, just do it for the fun at this stage, because I can tell you it kind of is still fun, but it feels a bit more pressured when you know that there's a deadline. So enjoy the fun while you have it, while it lasts. And on that cheery note, I think I'll put another sprint on. So we've got one more 40-minute one and a 30-minute one, and I'll get started, and we'll see you on the side.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
That was our second sprint. Hope everybody had a good one. How did it go for you, Beth?
Good. I finished Emily Wilde.
Nice.
Ooh.
And I started reading Extraordinaries again. And got to page 300 of this, so I have about 80 pages left now.
Oh, gosh. Do you know where you're up to in it? Have you remembered what was happening?
Yes, I was at a very sad part.
Oh.
Somebody was in hospital, and I started reading again and was like, oh God, I left that at quite a depressing moment. But I think I've fallen back into it now, and kind of there's quite a lot of characters in it, and a lot of like a friendship group, but then also like the friends' parents and a lot of side characters. So I was like, who's who again? But I think I've managed to grasp who is who and remember most of the plot now. So yeah.
Good, you're doing well. If I've left a book for even a few days, I'm like, who is everybody and what's happening? So
it's very unlike me to put a book down for like that amount of time, but it's only because I left it in Mark's car and forgot that it was there.
Well, at least you picked it up, and you've got that bonus of you've nearly finished a book now, so that's like another book that you can say, yeah, I've read that this month.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. You might even, I don't know, maybe in the sprints 80 pages in 30 minutes is probably a bit ambitious.
Yeah, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, we'll see.
But that's it, 2 books in one day.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
It's nice when that happens, isn't it? Or when you read lots together and then you finish them all on the same day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yay.
Yeah, that's the only way my TBR ever seems to suddenly get cut down, because I'm like, oh, I've just finished 5 books today. Because saying that, because I'm so busy at the minute, I'm only reading 1 physical book, 1 Kindle, 1 Audible, which is really unusual for me. Normally I've got multiple physical ones on the go, but I've not even got time to read 1 physical. So or 12 Bones, it's really good, and I'm just like not reading it. But yeah, how about you, Kirsty?
To read this weekend as well. Yeah, I got just over 500 words written, so it's not bad.
Yay!
Yeah.
So is this all new material for you now going forward? Have you done the editing bit that you would? I think last time you were editing and like polishing up to where you needed to write some new stuff.
Yeah, it's all new from here on out. Yeah, and I'm not allowed to write insert scene here. It's all got to be written now.
I don't do that very often. I did that in Mina 3. There was a really big like battle type scene where if there's lots of moving parts, I find them really intimidating, and I left it out, and I did regret it because I was really up close to a deadline. Then I went, oh no, I've got like 3 days of writing left when I thought I'd nearly finished. So yeah, I think.
And you left yourself the hardest part to write.
Yeah, the thing that I didn't leave myself kissing, did I? Like kissing and murder, I'm fine with, but it's like the really big things that are hard to orchestrate. Like if it's just one, like, oh, we found a body, like Mina does regularly. I'm fine with stuff like that. But yeah, the big scenes aren't my favorite. I mean, I like when I read them, I'm like, oh, that was satisfying, but the writing them is really hard. Do you have a type of scene where you see it coming, Kirsty, and you're like, oh, this is hard?
Yeah, I think it's just if I'm in the mood for that particular type of scene or not on that day. I mean, I do tend to write chronologically or fairly chronologically nowadays. But I did start chopping and changing a little bit. So I've got a couple of scenes that I need to like then find somewhere to insert, which I always find a bit harder because it means kind of chopping it all up and starting again.
It does. I do that quite regularly. And then you're like, oh, the plot actually works without this scene now, but I kind of still want this scene in there. So the whole plot has to reshape to fit it back in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I try and write chronologically just because I think it helps my continuity and my train of thought. If like literally they are, because the Mina books, I'm just trying to work out if this book is going to be the same sort of length, and they tend to be just over a week long. They really have a hellish week. So it's quite a short time frame. Like I find it quite a bit better to work on it like that, like work on it in order, like literally, otherwise they're missing meals and like never going to the toilet. And I know that's not essential content, but I've just read a scene and I was like, I don't think Mina's eaten for about 12 hours. Like that's not right. I like to at least allude to like being an actual human before book without going into too much detail.
How did you get on anyway?
I finished, so the little pile I had to do now is all summarised on a nice PDF, and I'm now doing a thing that I always dread, because I always next to when I've summarised a chapter, I write next to it how long in like real time each chapter's lasted, and that's when I go, oh man, that car journey that was meant to take 15 hours took 2.5 days. How did that happen? Or vice versa. Like I think my time scales sometimes get a bit off when I get excited. Like days last. Kev used to laugh at me, particularly in Mina one. Some days seem to last like 40 hours. It's like, hang on. She went here, and then she did this, and then she went out for a meal, and then they went out partying after. And it's like, yeah, they went out partying at 4 a.m. That's fine, isn't it? So yeah, I always dread this bit because I know that I've generally messed something up to do with the time scale. So the pouting in the next stream will be because of that, because I'm not good at time scales. I'm not a very time-oriented person anyway. Like I get really absorbed in what I'm doing, and time passes at weird points. So that's how I blame it. My characters can't do it because I can't do it myself. Let's what the people in the comments have done, and then we can probably jump to the last sprint. I mean, of course you do. I'm going to have to read that again. Watch a singer watching other singers singing the Alien song from Fifth Element. I think I've followed most of that. I do that sometimes where I watch this hairdresser guy watching other people cut hair and commenting on their hair. And I'm not even that into hairdressing. I don't know why I do this, but it's the stuff that comes up, my Facebook feed. And I must have watched one once, and then like they come up all the time, and I keep watching them. So my algorithm at this point is a complete disaster. Yes. I'm very happy with myself. It does mean, however, that I need to now do the edits. So the hard bit is ahead of me.
Yeah.
That sounds lovely.
Oh,
I
nice.
will start off doing a Pinterest board and then promise to share it on social media as part of promo and go, oh, that Pinterest board I didn't finish. So last time Mia stopped finishing my Pinterest board, I think it's for Mina too. I was like, there's something missing here. And I don't know whether you've seen Mia's Instagram and stuff is all really aesthetic. So she went through and like aestheticed it up for me, because I'd got really practical things like, this is what this building looks like, so I can describe it. And she's like, you need some vampires, and like you need some blood dripping from fingertips, and like beautiful people kissing and stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, you add those. I'll add the really boring.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, this is why it's good to have friends like that you can support each other, like have different strengths. Yeah, do you know what? I was just thinking, definitely. How long must it be since I've watched Fifth Element? I really like it. I love, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget her name, Mila Jovovich.
Yeah. Multi-pass. That's just what I remember from that. I think there was a picture of her daughter kind of dressed like her with the multi-pass on social media sometime, in this last week, weirdly enough. Kind of like spitting image.
Oh gosh, really?
Of her.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Oldman's amazing in that, I think, from what I remember. Bruce Willis plus her, it's just, and it's really bonkers, isn't it, from what I remember? Is it like quite silly and wild? And
it is a good film.
Excellent. Right, I feel that we all look a little sleepy, so we've got 30 minutes left. Do we think that we can have a really productive 30 minutes, or are we going to put the TV on and stare into space?
We'll see.
We'll see. I might start writing, and then I might switch to reading, because I think I've nearly finished the scene that I was working on, and like you said, I'm feeling quite tired, so I think I might just switch over.
Is this when I'm editing my book, or just in general, or is this when we're talking? Either way, honestly, my filler phrases are really funny when I'm writing, because I'm at the point now where I'm trying to find scenes quickly. So it's like, oh, where is that scene? Oh, it's got the words, teacup on the side in it. And then I'll have used that like 30 times. I'm like, oh, how does this happen? And I know that language, naturally repeats and stuff, but I always repeat some really silly expressions. Like, what's the one at the minute? We've got to tread carefully. They're treading really carefully. Everybody to tread carefully in this book. And I'm like, oh God, I need maybe one of it. Now when you read all my books, you're going to be looking for tread carefully, aren't you? But they'll hopefully be gone by the time you read them, because I did search for it thinking it'd be in there once or twice, and there was a lot of treading carefully. So
I just have a lot of shrugging and smiling.
I always think when people say shrug, Have you watched Warm Bodies, where like R is a zombie and he kind of shrugs instead of talking? And I remember the girl saying, "Stop shrugging. It's a really non-committal gesture. So you need to tell your characters to be decisive. If they're shrugging, they're not being decisive." Yeah, what do mine? Oh, mine do all kinds of silly things that need editing out.
I mean, mine is a stroppy teenager, so you know she has explicitly decided to shrug because it's safer than actually saying anything. But still,
that sounds right. Yeah, I have to watch eyebrows as well. I always end up with some character who's got expressive eyebrows, and I have to make sure that I stick to at least one. Otherwise, everybody's eyebrows are going wild all over the place.
Dancing eyebrows.
Yes.
Oh, he's got a little Halloween collar. I don't know if you can see his little Halloween collar with pumpkins and things on it. And my sister went, "Are you just wasting money on things?" I'm like, "Yeah, but he doesn't have a collar, so this is now his collar all year round. I just, you know, happened to buy it at Halloween when there was Halloween fabric there. So, yeah, you're a van puppy, aren't you? So you're allowed to wear a Halloween collar."
I feel like that's perfectly appropriate. Was it one of my proofs was that the dog that ate the proof?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Oh, that sounds like even the title of that makes me feel a bit cringy, Sharon. So I'm very interested to know what that is about.
Yeah.
So like someone's having fun. Enjoy if we haven't missed you already. Yeah.
Well, that was a big yawn.
Yeah, now I was going to say this yawn is going to spread around the screen now, isn't it? We've seen that's it for all of us. We're doomed. Right.
We're doomed.
Yeah, no, the yawn of doom. Let's see if we can push through the yawns of doom. We've got 30 more minutes, which takes us to just after 10 o'clock. I think that's still quite a reasonable hour. So let's do the last 30 minutes. This is the very last sprint, everyone, and we will see you on the other side.
See you then.
See you soon.
That is it. Last sprint done. Sorry for you've all jumped. Kirsty, I feel like you might have jumped them.
Just a little bit. My headphones, I don't know what I must have put the volume up super loud. So yes, it made me jump quite a lot.
So cats on surround sound. Sorry about that.
I was going to say, I think Dare even heard it through the headphones then, because he's like, there's a cat. There's a cat.
Nope. No real cats, just pretend StreamYard ones. Sorry, dogs and cats in hearing distance. How did you get on, Kirsty? Did you get much done?
I did about another 300 words, finished the scene, didn't read, just faffed on my phone.
Sounds about right.
Good.
I managed to get all my timescales done and made myself a little spreadsheet of how much I need to edit a day, which kind of looks okay. So I'm a bit suspicious because if I stick to it, it's all going to be fine. But it's whether it goes according to plan. I do have some new material to write as well. That's why I always forget. It's like 10 pages a day. I can edit 10 pages. And it's like, oh, but some of those are going to be brand new pages. Can I write 10 pages a day? Probably not. So, but hopefully there'll be days where I edit 20 pages, hopefully. And then that'll even out the days where I have to write. So,
do you tend to write sort of every single day, or do you have like a couple of days off in the week? Or
no days off really, unless I'm doing something. So like if I'm interviewing somebody in an evening or something like that, the time is full. But yeah, all of my time is either doing YouTube stuff or book events or doing this. At some point the work-life balance will return, but it's not here yet. I'm thinking next year should be a little easier. I'm sure I said this last year, and then I've worked on 3 books this year. So I'd like to do one or 2 books a year would be better than 3. But I can't complain too much. How about you, Beth? Some good reading in that sprint?
Yeah, I think I read about 40 pages.
You're so close.
I've got 60 pages left. So
are you enjoying it despite the break?
Yes, yeah, I am, and maybe I'll finish it tonight. Although I feel very, very sleepy tonight. So
don't push it. At least it can be a nice achievement for tomorrow.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and I'm very close now, and I've already finished 1 book today, so
yeah,
that's pretty good going.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, there's a little boy talking, so I might have to disappear in a second. That was delete. Good night, Brett.
Yeah, more people are sleeping.
Already lost you. That is the perennial problem, isn't it? Glitchments after the credit scene. I think I'm going to have to go because I can hear Tiny Person speaking. But thank you so much, YouTube, for coming on screen with me. Thank you, everybody in the comments. I'm going to cut this one short, but I will see you soon. Bye.
See you later. Take care. Bye. Bye.